just want to chat a few different variations of postures before we get into the flow. So there's going to be quite a few planks and push-ups this morning. So modifications for, let's start with planks, whether that's being a regular plank on both hands or a side plank. So it can always come down to forearms, take the weight off the wrist. If you want to drop down to knees, just make sure your knees are a little bit further back from the hips so you can still create some sort of flexion through the abdomen to keep the core switched on. And the same thing with push-ups. If you like to do push-ups from your knees, then we'll just set them a little bit further back so as we come forward, we can bring the elbows back in line with the body and keep that core flexed. Other than that, when we move into our weighted flow, option to use the weights or you can push them to the side. So just seeing how you feel. Let's start on our back to begin. Soles of feet together, knees dropping open wide. Your hands can rest by your side, or you might like to bring them to your chest. And just allowing natural breath to flow, to settle mind and body. We're doing a spinal warm-up in a bridge. So we're bringing hands underneath the knees, lifting the legs up together to touch, grounding through the soles of the feet. As you inhale, tucking the tailbone, round or rolling up through each vertebrae all the way to your shoulders. And on the exhale, nice and controlled through each vertebrae, begin to roll all the way back down onto the mat. Inhale, tailbone tucks, rolling all the way up, all the way to shoulders, drive the hips high. Exhale, rolling all the way back down. You can also bring the arms into this movement. As you inhale, hips lift and arms start to float up and overhead, back to the hands touching down. As you exhale, bringing the arms and the hips all the way back over. We'll do one more round. Inhale. And exhale. Take a little twist from here. Shoulders stay anchored back, lowering the knees over towards the left side. Bring the knees back to the center. And we'll take them over to the right. Make your way over to a tabletop position. We can get there by either rocking and rolling up and down the spine with the knees to chest, or you can swivel around on the mat, taking knees on the hips and hands on the shoulders. So you're rocking and roll, or rock and roll up the whole spine, creating enough momentum to cross ankles, roll over the knees, and take the feet back. We'll take 4 rounds of cow and cat. Inhale, extending through the spine, opening the heart. Exhale, rounding chin to chest. Inhale. Exhale. If you'd like to do the next 2 rounds with tuck toes, we'll tuck them underneath. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, breath in. And exhale. Turn into a neutral spine, spreading the fingers wide on the mat, lifting the hips as you extend through the legs and pressing back into downward facing dog. Take 4 breaths to walk out through your legs, gently pedaling from left to right. Start to press the mat away through the arms, lengthen through the torso, hips high to the sky. We'll take 1 more breath in, and exhale. From your downward facing dog, right leg floats to the sky as you breathe in. Right foot steps through between the hands on the exhale. Left toes stay tucked, knee lowers to the mat, arms sweep to the sky. We'll cactus the arms, drawing elbows and shoulders back, drawing navel to spine. Sweep the arms out wide as you breathe in. Take a side bend over towards the right. Right hand comes down to the floor or maybe to a prop. Left arm reaching overhead. Sweeping both arms high to the sky. And bring the left hand down to the floor. And swivel on the left knee and take your right leg to the back of the mat into a side plank. Reaching your top arm to the sky. So lift the hips up, contract through the other side of the body here. Press the hips slightly forward. Ground through the back foot. Option then to sweep the top arm overhead, lengthen all the way through the top of the body. Both hands returning to the mat. We'll bring the right knee down into a tabletop. From here, lower the chest and chin. And we'll scoop and slide the heart through all the way into your baby cobra. Shoulders rolling back, tops of the feet and hips pressing into the floor. Big toes together, knees wide, hips all the way back to the heels as you exhale to child's pose. And downward facing dog, lift the hips, tuck the toes. And send everything high to the sky. Left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Left foot steps through between the hands, exhale. Lower the right knee, keep the toes tucked, arms sweep high. Cactus the arms on the exhale. We'll reach them out wide. And take your side bend to the left, exhale. A few breaths here, inhale, exhale. Both arms sweeping up and overhead. Supported side plank on the second side, right hand grounds, right leg swivels back, and left steps to the back of the mat. Contract, lift the hips, drive them forward, left arm high. Maybe taking the top arm overhead as you keep pressing the back foot down into the mat. Bringing both hands to the floor. So this time we can take this into our high plank. If you prefer tabletop to baby cobra, bring the knees down. Otherwise, toes tucked. Tucking the tailbone. Try to draw the wrists back towards the toe tips as you press the floor away. We lower through our chaturanga dandasana, which is the low plank position. Elbows drawing back, they squeeze in towards the rib cage as you lower down. And then from here, upward facing dog or your baby cobra as you breathe in. And pressing all the way back into downward facing dog with your exhale. Maybe travel through child's pose along the way. And we'll walk the feet all the way towards the hands into ragdoll at the front of the mat. Slight bend in the knees, dropping forward over the legs. You can take hold of your elbows and bring that little sway from side to side. Hands then release to the mat, chin to the chest, rolling up through each of your vertebrae and rise into your mountain pose Tadasana. Arms by your side, palms facing forward, shoulders rolling back. We'll sweep the arms up and overhead, gazing towards the thumbs. And then hinging from your hips into Uttanasana, exhale, straight legs. Take a breath in, and dropping forward into Uttanasana. We'll take a half lift, lengthening. Grounding through the hands. We'll step the left leg all the way to the back of the mat. Lower the knee down to the floor and sweep your arms to the sky. Or cactus the arms on the exhale, with the option to straighten through the legs as we sweep the arms back overhead. Inhale. Exhale. So if you're coming in through the straight legs, hovering the back knee off the floor each time you lower down. We'll do another 3 of these. Exhale. Inhale. Another 2. And 1. Next exhale, opening to your warrior 2, swiveling the left foot, opening through the hips, arms coming down to your shoulder height. Squeezing everything towards the center of the mat. Maybe that little adjustment through the pelvis as you press hips forward, shoulders rolling back, arms reaching out of shoulder height. We'll flip into reverse warrior, sweeping the front hand to the sky, inhale, and exhale. Take another breath in, Exhale. Returning up through your warrior two. Both hands coming onto the hips. We'll straighten through legs, swivel the big toes or the toes towards the long edge of the mat, taking your heels slightly wider, and then folding forward over straight legs. Exhale. Breath in, lengthen. Exhale, dropping forward. Hands can release down to the mat, bringing the weight even across your feet. Tailbone lifting high to the sky, neutral spine. Now half lift, lengthening. Bringing the hands back onto the hips. Drive through the feet, bring the hips forward all the way up to standing. Now take your left foot here. We're going to step it behind the right. So it comes all the way to the front of the mat, stepping out to the side into a curtsy position. And we're bending into the knees, taking that nice and low. You're going to add a little pulse here with the next 3 breaths. And 2. And 1. And straighten through the legs, so step it back out wide into a wide leg stance. We'll take a little swivel towards the back of the mat. We'll re-enter we'll take this into a low lunge twist. Right hand to the floor and left arm sweeps to the sky. So from this low lunge twist, we'll lower the right knee and back into your side plank. This is where we can bring a little more strength and activation into the side plank. I'm going to press through the back foot, drive through the grounded hand, and maybe hover your right knee off the floor. If you'd like to take that a little bit further, first check the alignment through the hips. You can draw the knee towards the chest, or maybe start to extend it out towards the side of the room. We'll hold here for 3, and 2, and 1. We'll take the right leg back under the body into a high plank position for 5 chaturanga push-ups, which you can do on a high plank or lower the knees. So come down, elbows hug the body, and press that back up. For 5, 4, 3, and 2, and 1. And the last one, taking that through your flow, or meeting straight back in your downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, looking towards the hands, step or jump the feet to the front of the mat. Take a halfway lift. Folding forward on the exhale. And rise to standing, sweeping arms overhead. Uttanasana, folding forward, exhale. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Hands ground, right foot to the back of the mat. Toes tucked, knees lower, arms sweep to the sky. Cactus the arms, and then the option to straighten through legs and the arms as you breathe in. Exhale, lower, hovering the back knee. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Breath in. Exhale. 2. And 1. Straighten through the legs. Warrior 2, open through hips. Actively reaching out through the fingertips. Take that lunge a little bit deeper. Squeeze your glutes on. Flip and reverse warrior, inhale. Take it all the way up through warrior 2. Both hands onto the hips, straighten through the legs, swivel the toes to the long edge of the mat. Inhale. Exhale, folding forward. Hands can release down to the mat. Lengthen through the spine, half lift, hands return to hips. Drive the hips forward as you come all the way up to standing. We're taking the right leg behind the left this time. So we step all the way back into that curtsy position. We'll bend down through the knees. We'll take 3 breaths with the option to add a little hover, pulsing up and down. Straighten through the legs, step it back out wide into your wide leg position. We'll swivel towards the front of the mat into your low lunge twist. Left hand comes to the floor, right arm sweeps the sky. Into your supported side plank, left knee lowers, take it to the side, right leg all the way back. Now once you're in your side plank, the option to drive the back foot into the floor, press through the left hand, hover the bottom knee, maybe draw it to the chest or extend it out in front of the mat. Lift the hips high to the sky. Let's hold here. 3 and 2 and 1. Take it back under the body into a high plank. 5 chaturanga push-ups. So 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. The option to flow or straight back into your downward facing dog. Looking towards the hands from downward facing dog, we'll step or jump through to the front of the mat, to your half lift, fold forward, and then rise to standing, arm sweep overhead. This time let's bring the prayer down towards the heart. We'll take 3 breaths, inhale, exhale. Wrap in, exhale. In, exhale. Arms down by your side into Tadasana, sweeping them overhead and falling forward, Uttanasana, exhale. So while you're hanging your forward fold, make sure the weights are at the front of the mat on either side. We take a half lift. I'm going to switch the sides just so I can face towards the camera for each round. So I'm going to step here, I'm going to step the right leg back. Yes. So right leg steps back. We'll lower the knee, toes tucked. Weights in the hands. Just the same as what you did on that first round, extending through the legs and the arms. Now the option to do an overhead press with the weights. So same cactus arms. Exhale, we'll press. Inhale to lower. Exhale. Inhale. We'll go for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten through the legs and arms, opening to warrior 2. So we've got this static hold, arms open at the shoulder height to begin, to engage through the legs. What we're doing with the arms, we'll bring them down to the front of the pelvis. We'll sweep them back up to the shoulder height. When they bring them in front of the body, touching the weights together, open them back to the shoulders. So down in front of the hips, back up to shoulders, sweep them forward, open wide. The hips, the shoulders, to the front of the body, to open. Let's go for another 2. And 1 more. Holding at the shoulder height for the next 5, 4, 3, 2. Straightening through both legs, swivel the toes to the long edge of the mat. But here, our forward fold, a more balanced way to enter would be to bring the weights to the hips. You can bring them to the chest. A little more challenge would keep them out at your shoulder height. So we're hinging from the hips. Only need to come down to about halfway where the hamstrings get loaded, neutral long spine, and then driving the hips forward, all the way back up to standing. We'll do 10 of these. For 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Bring the weights down to the side of the body. We'll step the left leg behind the right into your curtsy position at the back of the mat. So this time with the curtsy, we'll add bicep curls. So we're going to pulse through the legs as we curl the arms for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straightening through the legs, step them back out wide, swiveling to the back of the mat, taking our low lunge twist. Release the weight that's in the left hand and take the right arm to the sky. We'll sweep it down to the outside of the front foot and then sweep it back to the sky. For 9, 8, 7, and 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Hold the weight high, taking it around into your supported side plank, left knee to the mat, right leg steps back. This is where we can take our side plank a little bit further, pressing through the back foot, round through the hand, maybe hover the bottom knee, draw it to the chest or extend it out, hold here. We can add toe taps with the left leg if you're hovering. So we're going to tap to the floor and lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Our 5 chaturanga push-ups with the option to keep the leg hovering. We need to release the weight from the hands, ground them. If the leg's hovering, it's out to the right side of the body. So we go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take it high to the sky, 3-legged dog. Move through a flow, back to downward facing dog. And then bring a downward facing dog. We'll step or jump feet to the front of the mat, halfway lift. And this time we'll step left leg back. Lower the knee to the mat, toes stay tucked, weights come to the hands. Overhead press, extending through the legs on the exhale. So press for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it high, open to warrior 2. So we have weights to the front of the hips and then sweeping to the front of the body. So down in front of the hips, open up to the shoulders, sweeping them forward, open wide. Lower to the hips, open to the shoulders, sweep them forward, open up. Another 3. And 2. And 1. Open to the shoulders for 5, 4, 3, 2. Straightening through both legs. Toes point to the long edge of the mat. Arms can stay wide to the chest or to the hips. We hinge forward, all the way back up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right foot steps behind the left, curtsy squat with bicep curls for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step the feet back, open wide. We'll swivel to the front of the mat. Release the weight that's in the right hand. Left arm to the sky. Bring it down. Sweep it back up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold this last one high. Right knee lowers, left foot steps back, side plank. So either hold here on the side plank or press the floor away, hover the bottom leg, maybe extend it out. We can have toe taps. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding it out to the side as we move into our push-ups for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right leg high to the sky. Take it through a flow. Let's meet back in a resting position this time. So that could be your downward facing dog, or it could be dropping into child's pose. We'll take one more breath in this resting shape. Sweeping the arms forward, fingers spread wide if you're in your child's pose. To lift the hips, tuck the toes, and straighten through your legs. Right leg high to the sky as you breathe in. Right foot steps through, the hands exhale. Swivel on the back foot. Trickle, just going to Virabhadrasana 2. Left hand sweeps forward, up and open into your Warrior 2. Straightening through the front leg. Reaching forward into Trikonasana. Right hand to shin, ankle, or maybe the floor as the left arm sweeps high to the sky. Once you're in your shape, drive through the soles of the feet. Press the hips forward. Open up through the heart. Reach out through your fingertips. And get a little bit more core activation here by sweeping the top arm up and overhead, create length. And then maybe the bottom arm also joins as we reach out. Softening into the right knee, both hands come down to the front of the mat. Let's step the left foot through between the hands and hands stay grounded as we gently drop sit bones to the floor. Navasana boat pose. So we can start by hugging the backs of the thighs or the shins, lifting the heels, come onto your toe tips, and lengthening through the spine, keep the heart lifting high. Reaching the arms out, maybe float the shins, maybe extending through the legs. So as we shift from a high boat to low boat, this contraction or activation through the core starts to move into the abdomen as we press the lower back down into the mat. Heels stay lifted, head and shoulders stay lifting. Lots of flexion through the front of the body. And start to kick out through the feet for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold. High boat, hands ground either side of the sit bones, feet come back to the floor. Take it all the way through to our halfway lift, inhale, and then folding forward, exhale. Chair pose, knees bend, hips lower back, arms sweep to the sky. Checking that the knees are just drawing back beyond the toes, toes wriggling in front. Inhale, reach through fingertips, exhale. Inhale. Maybe dropping chair a little bit deeper. Exhale. Breath in. Exhale. Each time, deepening into the chair. Breath in. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Palms press. Prayer comes to the heart, straight through the legs, all the way to standing. Folding forward, straight legs. Half lift. Maybe taking this through a flow, or straight back to your downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, left leg high to the sky. Left foot steps through between the hands. Warrior 2, right heel ground, right arm skips forward, up and open. Straight through both legs, checking the external rotation, the engagement through the glutes, length through the torso as you inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, left hand lowers, your right arm scoops to the sky. Now looking for a little more core activation. The top arm can sweep overhead. Maybe the bottom arm joins. Softening into the left knee, hands grounding either side of the front foot. Returning to Navasana, boat pose, feet step through, sit bones lower, float the legs. Maybe straighten through the legs. Taking it to low boat. Flutter through the feet. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, high boat. Low boat. Open the legs wide and we'll scissor, taking right over left, open wide, left over right. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. High boat. Last one, low boat. Arms reaching down along the legs, a little gentler. Arms reaching overhead, making it stronger. Hold here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Knees drawing towards the chest, giving yourself a little hug, and a rock from left to right. We'll take a little energizing heart opener back bend here in bridge. Feet grounding, hip width distance apart, heels close enough to brush with your fingertips. Now feel that core engagement as you gently draw the navel towards the spine. Tuck through the tailbone, roll up through each vertebrae as you inhale to the shoulders. Walk the shoulders closer together and away from your ears, either grounding the hands either side of the body on the mat, or you can interlace your fingers, palms come together behind your back. You interlace the fingers, we'll release the hands, hold here, breath in. All together, rolling through each vertebrae, hips coming back down to the floor. Feet walk as wide as the side of the mat, knees knocking towards each other. We'll take a second round at bridge. Reset the feet and knees to the hip width distance, checking the distance between the heels and the backs of the hips by brushing the ankles. Engaging through the core, lift through the hips, rolling them all the way up. So same options for the second round, hands ground or maybe interlaced behind the back. If you'd like to take this to upward bow, we'll start by reaching the arms towards the ceiling, flattening out through the palms of the hands. We'll bend the elbows so the hands come either side of the ears. So at this point, when the hands ground, we'll check that the elbows stay shoulder width distance apart. As you press up, option to lift gently onto the crown of the head, slightly adjust the hands, and then continue to extend through the arms. Wherever you are for the next 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Upward bow is chin to the chest as the shoulders lower back down. All together, each vertebrae gently lowers back to the mat. Once the hips touch down, feet windscreen wide from left to right. With the sacrum remaining connected to the earth, so the back of the hips don't rise as the knees gently draw in towards the chest. Whole spine stays flat to the mat. Maybe continuing with those gentle rocks from left to right. And take a figure 4 from here. Left foot flattens to the floor, knee remains bent. Cross your right ankle over the top and make sure that the right toes are drawing back towards your right knee. So you may like to stay here with the left foot grounded. You might start to draw the knees in towards the chest. Shoulders melting back. You can also gently press the right elbow to your inner thigh, just to bring a little extra opening through your hips. And as you release, the left foot comes back down to the mat. Option to either unbind the legs or to continue to wrap them around each other. If you're taking a twist or the bind through the legs, make sure you shift your hips slightly to the right side as you lower your knees to the left, and right shoulder stays connected to the earth through your twist. Legs return to center. Unravel. Realign the hips to be centered on the mat, and this time we're crossing the left ankle over the right thigh. So toe tips drawing back towards the left knee. They can stay grounded, or you might like to draw them in towards the chest. Left elbow to the inner thigh to increase the opening through your hip. Right foot lowers. Unravel or bind your legs for your twist. And this time the hips gently lift towards the right or to the left side as your knees lower to the right. Returning through center. Unravel the legs. Realign your hips. Gently drawing the knees into the chest. Here is the opportunity for any final movements, adjustments, or postures. As you're ready to release, we'll extend the legs out into your Shavasana. Feet dropping open to the sides. Arms down, palms turned up. Take a moment to drop back into your relaxing natural breath. Inviting movement to return through your fingers and the toes. Movement increasing through the wrists and ankles, arms and legs. Full body stretch, lengthening through the legs, point the toes, sweep your arms overhead, inhale. Open mouth, release, exhale. Hug knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. Rock from left to right. Roll that over onto your right side. We'll meet in a seated position on your mat. Shoulders rolling forward, up and back. Arms sweep wide overhead. Palms press. And the prayer lowers, passing through your third eye, across your throat. So rest at the heart. Take a breath in. Down forward in your exhale.